Hi, it's Roberta from Quilt Crafters Corner. Okay, today we're going to do a block for you, and the block is called Annie's Choice. Now these come from Quilters Cash. These are free for you to use and print. So let's take a look at Annie's Choice. Here's the block, and it is really pretty easy. The only thing complicated about it is that it is half square triangles. So once you get the half square triangle down, this should be a really easy block to make. So she calls for 3 7/8 by 31 for your strip of fabric. I cut them 4 by 8, and I cut them into 8-inch sections only so you didn't have that whole long thing to deal with. So I measure my half, the half of the 8, and I get my center. And then I draw my lines from that point to the outer corners. And then I sew a scant 1/4 inch on each side of that line. This way, comes this way, then I go up that way, I come back this way, and then I go that way. And then, once I've got it sewn and I press, set the seam, then what I do is I cut it in half. So now you have 2 squares, and then you cut it in half again from that center point, from center to center, and between your sewing lines. Okay, so now I have 4, and these I will take over to the iron and I will press them to the dark side. Actually, every other one press a different way. That way you can get your seams to nest a little better for this. So that's how you make the half square triangles. Trim these up. These, once you've got them cut apart, I pressed and everything, then what I do is I trim them. And I trim them on the diagonal, on the seam, so that everything is square to that seam. It will just sit in your block much nicer. The seams will go together much nicer, and you'll get these really nice 1/4 inch seams so that you don't lose your points when you put this into a quilt. So I trim these up to 3 1/2 inches because this is a 12-inch finished block, 12 1/2 unfinished. Right now it's sitting at 12 1/2. So 3 1/2 4 times is your 12 1/2, minus your seams and everything like that. So there are your half square triangles trimmed up. Now, the next thing that I do is I lay this out. And let me just trim another one up. I'll just trim another one up. Okay. So as you can see, this is 4 by 4. So what I have done, because I really dislike making rows of lines, so I built this as a 4 patch here, a 4 patch here, a 4 patch here, and a 4 patch there. So I set my blocks. Going the wrong way. Let's match it up. There we go. Now, so there is my corner block. Now I have made 2 more exactly like it, and you will see that this block here also goes here here, and here. So you really only need to lay out one corner of it because they're all the same, they're just rotated a little bit. So when you're putting your blocks together, just what I do is I usually lay a stack in each pile and then just kind of pick them up and work from there. So here is, this is my top corner block here. So I've got it here. And then what I can do is in the back, I spin my seams so that, and what I do is I just pop those seams open and they just come right apart. And then that way your seams will spin, and then I will take this to my iron and I'll press it, and then you reduce the bulk that you have in the middle here. So when you go to quilt this, you don't have a whole lot of material that the needle has to go through. So they just spin really simple and really easy. Let me show you again. It's just a slight twist, one hand going one way, one going the other way, and it just spins the seam, and then you just press. And then what happens is it's a much nicer, neater point because everything's laying much flatter. So that is today's block, and as you can see, it is a relatively easy block to make. It's just half square triangles. So I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to encourage you, if you haven't joined the swarm, please go join the swarm, and I will see you tomorrow. Everybody have a great day.